My name is Xiao Yu, I'm 25, and I've always believed love means fighting for someone, even when their family wants you gone. His mother gave me 100 chances to fail, but I didn't break. I loved harder. When I first met his mother, she wore pearls and politeness. She greeted me with warm tea and compliments, told me my dress was modest in a charming way, and said she loved a woman who didn't wear too much makeup. I thought it went well. I was wrong, because the very next morning, I received an eviction notice. Stamped. Signed. Final. The landlord said it was official, but I knew better. I'd never missed a payment. I just renewed last month. I called my boyfriend Lu Chan, heir to Lu Group, but he didn't pick up. I packed in silence, numb. By sunset, I was sitting on a park bench with 2 suitcases and no idea where to go. That's when a sleek black car pulled up, and she stepped out. His mother. Still in pearls. Still smiling. "I hope this helps," she said, handing me an envelope. Inside, 10,000 yuan in cash. Enough for a new apartment, a quiet life, a new beginning. But only if I walked away from him. "I know girls like you," she whispered. "You're sweet but temporary." My heart was pounding. I looked up at her, barely able to breathe. Then I handed the envelope back. "I don't want your money. I want your son." She didn't blink. Just took the envelope, turned, and left. That night, I slept on a friend's floor. My phone didn't ring. No apology. No explanation. But deep inside, I knew this was a test, and it wouldn't be the last one. Because the man I loved came from a world where hearts were weighed by how much pain they could carry without breaking. A week passed. Still no word from Lu Chan. His silence stung more than her money ever could. Was he in on it? Or just too scared to stand between his mother and me? I moved into a shared room with 3 other girls. Worked double shifts at the bookstore. Smiled through the ache. Then one afternoon, his assistant appeared. "Madam requests your presence," he said. Madam. She wasn't giving up. I was driven to a villa in the hills, where the Lu family gathered for a private banquet. Their estate looked like a palace. Gilded railings, koi ponds, porcelain vases taller than me. I walked in wearing my best second-hand dress. They stared. The moment I sat down, his mother lifted her glass. To the girl who turned down my offer. Everyone turned. "She said she loved my son," she added, smiling like a knife. "Not his wallet." I felt their eyes on me, cold, judging. Then she delivered the final blow. Either she's very honest or a very good liar. No one laughed. Not even Lu Chan. He just sat there, frozen, jaw tight. I wanted to disappear. But I didn't run. I stood up, heart-thudding, voice shaking, and said, "I may not have a famous name, but I do have a spine." She raised an eyebrow. "I didn't come here for handouts. I came because I love him. And if that's not good enough for this table, I'll find one where it is." Then I walked out. Every step felt like stepping off a cliff. But I'd rather fall with my dignity than sit where love had to be bought. What I didn't expect was who came running after me. Because just before I reached the gate, I heard his voice behind me. "Xiao Yu, wait." I turned around. He was breathless. Tie loosened. Hair ruffled. Not the cold, polished CEO air they always talked about. Just a man. One who looked terrified of losing me. "Why didn't you stop her?" I asked. His eyes burned. "I wanted to. I thought I could talk her down after dinner." I laughed, bitter. "Your mother doesn't talk. She tests. And I've failed every single one." He reached for my hand. Held it like it was everything. "I don't care what she thinks," he said. "She gave me her name. But you gave me something she never did. Love without conditions." I stared at him, unsure if I could believe it. "You didn't say a word in there," I whispered. "I know," he said, ashamed. I was scared that she'd cut me off. He paused. "But I'd rather be broke with you than rich in silence." Then, loud enough for the entire house to hear, he turned back toward the dining hall. "If she leaves, I go with her." Gasps echoed from the courtyard. His mother appeared at the door. No pearls this time. Just sharp eyes, unreadable. "You'd throw away your inheritance for a girl who sells books?" she said. He didn't flinch. "I'd throw away everything except her." She stared at me. then at him, then turned and walked back inside. No screaming. No threats. Just silence. He squeezed my hand tighter. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I should have fought sooner." "You just did," I said. And for the first time, I believed he meant it. But what we didn't know then was, her tests weren't over. Because when the heart is stubborn, like his mother's, it doesn't break. It waits for the moment to strike again. 2 months passed. I thought the war was over. She hadn't spoken to us since that night. No calls. No threats. Just distance. Lu Chun and I moved into a small apartment downtown. Quiet. Peaceful. Ours. We were finally building something without her shadow. Until the call came. His mother had collapsed at a charity gala. Heart condition. Stress-induced. She was admitted to a private hospital. VIP suite. The best care. But no one came to stay. Not her friends. Not her staff. Not even the family she hosted all those grand dinners for. Only Lu Chun and me. The first time I walked into her hospital room, she looked at me like a ghost had entered. "You," she whispered. I nodded. "I'm here to help." She turned her head away. But the next morning I was still there. I changed her bedsheets, brought fresh porridge, massaged her hands when they cramped from 4 drips. She didn't speak, didn't thank me, but she didn't stop me either. Lu Chun came in between meetings, always asking if I was okay. I'd nod, as I was. Strangely, caring for her didn't feel like surrender, felt like closure. Not for her. For me. Every evening, I sat by her bedside and read softly. Poems. Recipes. The weather forecast. Anything to fill the silence. One night the nurse said, "You know, she hasn't let anyone sit that close in weeks." I didn't answer, because I finally understood. Even the coldest hearts can feel lonely. And even though she once tried to push me out with money, power, and cruelty, I wasn't here for revenge. I was here because I loved her son. And somehow, a part of me still wanted her to love me too. It happened quietly. No dramatic music. No hospital alarms. Just a soft moment in the dark. I was adjusting her blanket, tucking it gently under her shoulders. She'd fallen asleep earlier with her back turned to me. Same as always. But tonight she stirred, turned slowly, and looked straight into my eyes. Her voice cracked when she spoke. "I always thought love was control," she said. "That if I protected Lu Chun from pain, he'd thank me for it." She blinked back tears. "But you let him choose. Even when it hurt you." I didn't know what to say. Then she reached for my hand. Held it weakly like she was afraid I'd pull away. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "For the money. The lies. The shame." I swallowed hard. Because deep down I'd waited to hear those words. But now that they were real, they didn't feel like a victory. They felt like a release. "I never had a daughter," she continued. "But if I did," her voice broke, "I'd want her to be just like you." The tears came before I could stop them. I leaned forward, wrapped my arms around her frail shoulders, and whispered back, "I only ever wanted to be part of this family. Not because of your name, but because of him. And now because of you." She didn't answer. She just held on. And in that tiny hospital room, the same woman who once tried to buy me off, finally let me in. Not with her approval. Not with her wealth. But with her heart. Sometimes the hardest hearts just need to be loved, without needing to win.